And welcome back. Tonight we're going to focus on Chapter 11, Improving Decision Making, and also Managing Artificial Intelligence, which obviously is becoming much more important in today's environment. Although there are big, infrequent decisions of significant value, there are thousands of smaller decisions that add up to a larger value. In other words, systems that make ordinary employees better decision makers can be as valuable or more valuable as systems that improve decision making of senior executives. Here we look at the importance of improved decision making, and we look at the three types of decisions that are made in an organization. It's not just the big decisions that can cost the firm a great deal or reap big rewards. Small decisions made hundreds of times a year can be just as valuable as a single decision made once a year. The different levels in an organization tend to make different types of decisions and require different types of support to make those decisions. Senior managers, middle managers, operation managers, and employees have different types of decisions and information requirements. This graphic illustrates the three types of decision makers within an organization. If a structured decision is given separately to two employees, should they each come up with the same answer? What about semi-structured decisions? Unstructured. Which of the types of decisions could most easily be handled by computer software? Here we look at the process of decision making as a series of 4 stages. It's important to note that if an implemented solution doesn't work, the decider can return to an earlier stage in the process and repeat as needed. Think about the example decision: what college should I apply to? Think about that process that you went through as you ultimately decided where you were going to go. Think about how you would describe the actions taken at each of those 4 stages as you went through that process. This graphic illustrates, again, those 4 stages of decision making that we introduced in the previous slide, emphasizing that steps can be repeated as needed depending on the outcome at each stage. Can you think of other high velocity decision situations in which you participate? Maybe such as Google search results, display ads that appear on your screens in milliseconds, or recommender systems such as Netflix and others that recommend media. In these and many other situations, decisions are ultimately being made in milliseconds. There are many dimensions of what we would call good decision making. Business intelligence refers to a number of different capabilities and techniques for improving management decisions. Business intelligence can be a very confusing phrase. There are many elements that make up quote unquote business intelligence. These are the 6 most important. This graphic ultimately illustrates the sequence of elements in business intelligence and analytics for decision support as data from business environment, business intelligence infrastructure, business analytics toolset, managerial users and methods, platform, and user interface. And the components of each of those elements you can see on the slide in front of you. These are the primary outputs of a fully enabled business intelligence capability. Again, more examples of what we would call predefined business intelligence production reports. Predictive analytics cannot, of course, predict the future with certainty. The output of analytics programs are statistical associations, correlations, and not predictions of the future. For instance, if the rainfall in Omaha is higher than average, there is a strong likelihood that demand for lawnmowers will be higher than average. More specifically, based on analysis of data over the last 5 years, if the rainfall in Omaha is 1 standard deviation higher than normal, then demand for lawnmowers has been 0.5 standard deviations higher than average demand. Based on this historical pattern, it would be advisable to increase shipments to the city in rainy years to meet likely demand. However, the association is impacted by many factors, primarily personal income in the affected years, the price of lawnmowers, etc. The association is, in other words, not stable under various conditions and other factors which cannot be predicted. If all other factors affecting lawnmower demand are unchanging, stable, then the predicted demand has a higher likelihood of occurring. Can you think about the cities that you live in, towns or villages, and how they might be able to use big data analytics to improve the lives of its citizens? Here, we review operational intelligence and analytics. Many large corporations today are experiencing an explosion of customer information gathered from websites, social sites, blogs, and emails. Making sense of it all is difficult. Graphical representation of data is one way to reduce the torrent of data into some simple messages that humans can understand in a glance. The diagram here shows power users, producers, and casual users, consumers, as the two types of business intelligence users. The different power users and casual users and their capabilities are listed as you can see. Power users, producers, consumers under casual users. We look at the various capabilities. Now we start to look at semi-structured decisions with the support of DSS. This table displays the results of a sensitivity analysis of the effect of changing the sales price of a necktie and the cost per unit on the product's break-even point. It ultimately answers the question, what happens to the break-even point if the sales price and the cost to make each unit increase or decrease? In this pivot table, we can examine where an online training company's customers come from in terms of region and advertising source. And now we move into executive support systems along with the balanced scorecard method. In the balanced scorecard framework, the firm's strategic objectives are operationalized along four dimensions: financial, business process, customer, and learning and growth. Each dimension is measured using several KPIs, or key performance indicators. Where do employees fit in the framework? What other measures of employees might be included in the learning and growth part of the framework? The balanced scorecard method is one of the most popular techniques for transforming a firm's strategic objectives into operational targets. Business performance management is also a popular method of translating strategies into concrete, measured performance. It's important to note that artificial intelligence is not the same as human intelligence. While there are many tasks currently performed by humans that can be performed by machines, and sometimes much better, faster, more comprehensive, etc., than humans, human intelligence is much more generalized and powerful in many respects. Google's search engine does something humans cannot do: search several billion websites in response to a query in just milliseconds. Humans, however, know what to search for. There are self-driving cars, but they don't know where to drive unless directed by a human being. The human brain contains an estimated 100 billion neural cells, each with over 10,000 synapse connections to other cells. It operates on 7 watts of energy. Our entire body uses 25 watts. Currently, scientists do not understand how the brain works at the microbiological or neural level. There are no computing systems in the foreseeable future that will come close to this level of computing power, at least as of today. IBM's Watson AI system used 200,000 watts of electricity when playing Jeopardy! So, thinking about all of the popular ideas or about AI or robots taking over the world, all of the techniques are useful, but not replacements for human intelligence. And here we look at some of the overall techniques and the benefits as it relates to AI. An expert system contains a set of rules to be followed when used. The rules are interconnected. The number of outcomes is known in advance and is limited. There are multiple paths to the same outcome, and the system can consider multiple roles at a single time. The rules illustrated are for a simple credit-granting expert system. This graphic illustrates the use of if-then rules in that expert system. And here we review the major types of AI techniques, and again, how they benefit organizations, including machine learning and neural networks. A neural network uses rules it learns from patterns in data to construct a hidden layer of logic. The hidden layer then processes inputs, classifying them based on the experience of the model. In this example, the neural network has been trained to distinguish between valid and fraudulent credit card purchases. The graphic illustrates how that neural network works by using an internal, hidden layer of logic that examines existing data and assigning a classification to that set. For example, given one or more specific combinations of age, income, purchase history, frequency of purchases, and average purchase size, a neural network might determine that a new credit card purchase was likely to be fraudulent. What are the benefits and drawbacks of using this type of technique? A neural network uses rules it learns from patterns in data to construct a hidden layer of logic. The hidden layer then processes inputs, classifying them based on the experience of the model. In this example, the neural network has been trained to distinguish between valid and fraudulent credit card purchases. And again, looking at additional AI techniques. This example illustrates an initial population of chromosomes, each representing a different solution. The genetic algorithm uses an iterative process to refine the initial solutions so that the better ones, those with the higher fitness, are more likely to emerge as the best solution. And here we finish with 2 more slides of additional types of AI techniques and ultimately how they benefit organizations. This concludes Chapter 11. We'll look forward to seeing you for Chapter 12.